Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. So I'm going to talk about what to do if your manifestation isn't working. The first thing you're going to want to do is sit down and write down your thoughts, because you need to kind of get clear on what exactly is going on in your subconscious mind. Basically, if you're journaling and you're writing out stuff like you don't believe it's going to happen because it hasn't happened yet, or you don't feel like you have like what it takes, like the necessary background or whatever it is, then it's really important to journal and write all of these thoughts out, because this is how you're gonna become aware of what is going on in your subconscious mind, and this is how you're gonna become familiar with what exactly is holding you back. Most of your decisions are made by your subconscious mind. So if you feel like you don't believe that you're gonna get what you want because it hasn't happened yet or whatever it is, then it's really important for you to acknowledge these belief systems, because it actually takes faith and belief to have those thoughts as well. Like if you truly feel like you're not going to get what you want, or what you're manifesting isn't coming and it's not going to happen for you, then you have faith in those beliefs. You trust those beliefs. And what you can do is just flip that around and use that faith in your favor and believe that you are going to get what you want. It is on its way to you. But in order to kind of change the narrative and flip it around, you first need to become like accustomed with what it is that your belief systems are and what is kind of holding you back. And that's why journaling is so powerful. And you can also meditate, and sometimes I like to use guided meditations because I feel like it'll kind of help you dig deeper into like whatever childhood experience or memory that gave you that belief system, that negative or limiting belief system. And that can be really helpful with like fixing it, because it will kind of be that aha moment for you of like, oh my gosh, that's why I think this way, or that's why I believe in this negative or limiting idea about myself, is because of that one childhood experience. And it makes it a lot easier for you to overcome it, because you're like, well, that was just that one negative experience that doesn't like define me or who I am or my identity. And it makes it a lot easier for you to like process it and let it go and create new belief systems. Which brings me to my next point, is sometimes it can be hard to like get rid of a negative belief or a limiting belief. So the best thing that you can do is essentially replace it with a positive belief. It's kind of like if you have a bad habit and you tell yourself not to do it, it makes it harder for you to actually stop doing it. But if you replace it with a new habit, then that is a lot easier to do. Because if you're constantly thinking like, don't do this, like don't bite your nails or whatever, then again, your subconscious doesn't register like negative words, so it's not going to pick up the don't. And all you're going to be like focusing on and obsessing over is biting your nails. So it makes it more likely for you to do it. Or if you like to eat junk food and you tell yourself like, don't eat junk food, stop eating junk food, in a way you're trying to like limit yourself and you're telling yourself not to do something. So naturally you're gonna obsess over it and think about it a lot, and it makes it more likely for you to do that thing. Whereas if you replace it with a new habit, like eating healthier foods, or saying to yourself that you enjoy healthy foods and that you like healthier foods, then it makes it a lot easier for you to actually do that, versus telling yourself not to have something. Like if you've ever tried to cut out something like carbs or sugar or whatever, you might be familiar with this experience, but it just makes you really obsessive over it, because it's like that forbidden thing that you can't have. So it's like all you want. And then eventually you'll just kind of like break and just have a ton of whatever it is that you were like forbidding yourself from. But to change like the wording and the way that you look at it into like, I just don't enjoy that, or telling yourself like you just enjoy healthy foods that give you nourishment or whatever, that makes it so much easier for you to actually stick to that new habit and that new plan, because you're essentially changing your self-identity. Because the other way of doing it, of telling yourself not to do something or not to have something, is sort of reinforcing that identity. It's basically saying, I love to have that thing, but I can't have it. Whereas if you change that to, I enjoy healthy things and I enjoy healthy foods, then it's changing like your self-identity, and it's gonna make it a lot easier for you to stick to it. And one of the things that we tend to do when we feel like something isn't happening or isn't happening fast enough is we will start to obsess over it and start to think of ways that we can control it and control the situation. So a lot of the times that will be thinking that you could be doing more, or you should be doing more, or should be doing something different. Maybe you need to take more action. A lot of like sort of hustle culture ideas will come in, but sometimes it's important to kind of take a step back and let things kind of flow, because the more you try to control a situation, the less you're going with the flow. And sometimes when the things that you want aren't coming to you, it's because you are meant for something better. And the controlling parts of us doesn't want to believe that, because we like to think that we know best. And a lot of the videos, a lot of manifestation videos that I see online, it's like trying to manifest your ex back. It's just like always just like, I don't know, like the worst idea, right? But when you're in that situation, I can imagine you're probably like, no, but like I know that this is what I want. Like I want to manifest my ex back, right? And in the moment, you want to control that situation because you're like, no, I don't want anything else. Like, no, I don't want something better. This is what I want. I know best. So you go and you manifest your ex back, and then it's the same like toxic relationship that you were in, because of course nothing has changed. But we always like to think that we know best. So sometimes it's important to kind of take a step back and realize that there could be something better for you, but because you're not willing to give up control of the situation and you're not willing to like see that, then you're not going to be able to get the better thing. You're just going to get like what you wanted, but it might not be the best situation for you. I've heard so many stories of people like manifesting their ex back into their life and then being like, wow, this is like the worst decision I've ever had. And just being like, wow, that was like a terrible idea. Like I shouldn't have done that. But again, it's one of those things that you don't really know or fully understand until it like has happened and you've gone full circle, because a lot of these people won't realize that that was such a bad idea until like that situation is done and over with, and then they manifest someone new, someone better into their life. And then when it's gone full circle and they look back and they're like, wow, that was terrible. Why did I do that? But maybe it was important that they learned that lesson, and maybe it was because they hadn't learned that lesson yet of giving up control. So sometimes we have a hard time coming to terms with the idea that maybe this is exactly where I'm supposed to be. Maybe I am exactly where I'm meant to be right now. And we have a hard time coming to terms with that because we know exactly where we want to be, because we think that being where we want to be is going to make us feel a certain way, and it's going to give us like all the fulfillment that we're seeking in life. But we know that this isn't true, just from the fact that depression and anxiety is higher than ever, and no matter how much people sort of accomplish in life, they feel like they're in this constant like chase mode, because it's kind of like filling an endless black hole, like a void inside of you with things that basically aren't gonna fill it. Like most people chase after materials or success or people, experiences, thinking that it's gonna fill that void, but really the only thing that could fill that void is sort of looking within and finding fulfillment from yourself, and realizing that like the chase is like a never-ending thing, and you'll never get true lasting fulfillment from any of the things that you're chasing, because once you have it, you'll come up with new things to chase. So it's like a never-ending, like a hamster wheel basically. That's it for today's little video. I hope that you found value in it. If you did, please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know what you want to see next, and I'll see you next time. Bye!